right, everybody. Today we're going to talk about spacer shims for better overwintering success. I did this last year and it worked out well for me, so I'm planning on just doing a copy and paste for this winter. Um, let's get going on making this so I can show you how to do it. But here's how it works. So this is a 1.5 inch wide, 3/4 inch thick board that you fashion together in the same dimensions as a hive. And the idea is when it's wintertime, or maybe it's even early spring, and you need to have a little bit of extra something on top to feed to the bees, you set this on top of the hive. And then that allows this space right here to be filled with a pollen patty, or what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to put a piece of newspaper down here and put my sugar cake on top of here that will help control the moisture in the hive, as well as provide some emergency winter feed for the bees if they need it. As you can see, without this, the lid to the top of the frames is a very small distance, probably 3/8 of an inch, and that's just simply not enough to work with, and that's where this 1.5 inch spacer comes into play. Works really nice. It's the same outer dimensions as the hive, and so that makes it easy to wrap the hive in the winter and improves overwinter success. So I'm trying to make these little bee spacers here for this winter. It's all about winter preparation. So what these are, this is 3/4 inch wide, 1.5 inch tall boards. I'm trying something maybe a little bit fancier than my normal by doing a 45-degree angle here. Let's put this together and see how it shapes up. Just gonna get a little bit of glue on each end here. Using these GRK fasteners. These are trim screw heads, 2-inch T10 head. Trying not to snug these up just yet. Get everything kind of situated. I think the lesson learned here is diagonal is not the way. Maybe. There's one. Not impressed. Splits. So when I first started making these, I thought I want to do a 45-degree angle because that would conceal the end grain, which is a common failure point for water ingress into the wood. It just soaks it up like a sponge. So with a 45-degree angle, I could have all that end grain hidden, and then I could paint this outer edge. Well, what I didn't realize is, one, I don't have the greatest tools in the world to do this. I just have a chop saw. And what I realized is because I'm cutting this at a 45-degree angle, where I'm putting the screw through here, I have taken out half the material there, and what has happened is it's caused that to split a little bit, like you can see right here. So there's just not enough beef on the board to really pull that in tight the way I wanted it. Now I glued that joint. It's probably going to be just fine, but I just didn't like how that split. You can see it's even done it here. It did it almost every single time on me. So what I did was I changed that up to do this 90-degree butted joint, and so I'm able to butt the joints together and then just drive a screw directly in here, and as you can see, there's no splitting on this. So this is what I ended up going with for this build. Okay, so just like we painted the hive boxes by stacking them all on top of each other, did the same thing for these spacer shims. Stacked them up on this escape board on the bottom, which I had already painted, just to give my paintbrush a little bit of extra space on the bottom. And then I just worked my way around painting this whole thing. Makes it very quick, did a couple coats in just a few minutes, and now I'm ready for this winter. All right, so here's a special spacer board I made for my double nuke box that's sitting over a double screen board on top of a hive that I'm doing an experiment to see if it'll overwinter. To help keep the partition between the two hives, I put this middle bar in between. This will sit flat on top of the spacer, and then it'll allow me to put little sugar cakes on top of each individual colony and still keep them separate.